Today we're doing something a little bit different. We're taking a look at a challenging backing situation that I had to do in New Jersey. Let's talk about it coming up. As I'm sure most of you know, I'm a planner. I look at everything on the overhead, on maps, on Google. I'm looking at the overhead to figure out where their dock is. I'm looking to see on the street view how to get in, how to get out. What are the difficulties that I'm going to face, the challenges when I get there? Big advantage that I had with this particular location is I was going to be arriving after they were closed. This meant there would be less traffic and fewer parked cars. When a location is in a city, quite often you'll find the roads to be narrower and the telephone poles to be closer to the road. This can present a unique problem, especially if you are approaching and that pole is going to be on your right, because you've got to protect your lane to make sure somebody doesn't try to pass you from behind, and you still have to try to make that right turn. It was not happening. When you're going through a tough turn, especially on the right side, you need to use your hood mirror. And as I'm watching the hood mirror, I see that there's no possibility of my trailer not touching that pole. So I'm going to have to back out of here. When I started to reverse, I was able to see that the cars behind me were backing up, giving me space. That worked out real well for me. Now I do have a camera on my rear bumper where I can see what's happening behind me, and I saw the cars backing up, which gave me plenty of space to back out and drive forward, look for a place to turn around and see if I could enter this place from the left side where that pole would not be an issue. The overhead views I'd looked at on Google, on Apple Maps, and on Trucker Path, and the street view that I had looked at, it looked a lot narrower in real life than it did in those overhead pictures. This is not something that happens to someone who's delivering beer or someone who's delivering a reefer load, because generally they're not going to be going to a place like this. As we had seen in the overhead pictures, it was definitely possible for a tractor trailer to get in here and get out of here because one had done it in the pictures. Came up to a sign that says truck route turn left. Well, the place I need to go is one block up to the right. As I took the turn wide, the cars figured out what I was doing. I could have made it without that car moving, but I'm glad they did move. It gave me extra room and I was able to maneuver a little easier. As I approach, I'm able to see it's on my left. I'm going to be at the far right, which is going to give me a little more turning room to deal with it. I can also see that the fence has been pushed over a little bit, not by me. My dash cam will prove that if anybody was ever to accuse me of that. I'm going to have a little bit more room. I'm going to go all the way over to the sidewalk right there at the edge of the sidewalk, and I'm going to be able to make this turn easier coming in from the left and the far lane of the road that I'm coming off of. It was actually a relatively easy turn at a very slow speed. My tandem axles were fully forward. This gives me a shorter wheelbase, a little bit tighter turning radius, but it also gives you a swing, so you have to make sure there's nothing in the swing area as your trailer makes that turn. Now my problem wasn't over. Here's the entrance to the place that I need to back this truck into, and it's a blind side with a tight area. But I literally have all night to get this thing backed in, and I can get out and look as many times as I want, and I can do as many pull-ups as I want. There's nobody watching me. There's no time limit. I'm not being graded on it. All that matters is I don't hit anything. When you're taking that CDL test, you can only get out of the truck twice. Third time you get out, you fail. You can only pull up twice. Third time, you're going to lose point. In real life, you're taking your CDL test. If you get out of the truck a third time, it's an automatic fail. If you pull up a third time, you lose points. If you hit a cone or go out of bounds, you just lose points. You don't fail. In real life, you can get out of the truck as many times as you want. You can pull up as many times as you want. But if you hit a cone or you go out of bounds, you've just hit a solid object or a building. This back took me about 25 minutes to complete and have the truck parked exactly where I wanted it. I also have to be mindful that when I get ready to leave here, I need as much space as possible so that I can go forward and turn left so that the left side of my trailer is not going to come close to that hole that is over there. Time to relax, enjoy a nice sunset, sip a cup of coffee. This place opens at 6 o'clock in the morning. Hopefully there'll be no traffic when I get ready to leave here, and it'll be nice and easy. Came in after they closed, left first thing in the morning, It made it so much easier not having to deal with a lot of New Jersey traffic. You might notice from the timestamp that I'm leaving at about 6:03. Remember I said they opened at 6 o'clock? I'd already had my pre-trip done. I was ready to go. They only had a single pallet to remove. They got that pallet off lickety-split. Just like that truck in the Apple Street Views, I was going to have to make a left out of here. That truck did it without any problem. Make sure that I use every bit of space available. Like Jack said in school, that's all there for me to use. Watch out for their little tree. Don't want to take that down. And once I was back out on the road, it was on to the next stop. Easy squeezy. I've had drivers tell me that one of the things that they worry about coming to an OTR LTL company like Cheeseman is that we would have to have a very difficult back that would make things harder for them. And yes, difficult backs do happen. We have a lot of docks that are wide open, 20 docks, you back into whichever one you want. It's really easy, or maybe they've assigned you one. We have a lot of those, but we also have a lot of places that only have one dock, maybe two docks. But the advantage that we have is we have time on our side. There's nobody else waiting for these docks. I literally had all night to dock that truck. Could have taken an hour, could have taken 30 minutes, could have taken whatever time I needed to safely dock that truck. And that's true. When we get to most of our locations that we're going to go to that have difficult backs, you can get out of the truck, walk over there, look at it, calculate out what you think you're going to do. And if it doesn't work, set up and try something different. You don't have 20 people waiting to back into the same dock you're into. They're not going to be mad because you're taking too much time. Do the job safely. Get the truck in, and I think you become a better truck driver after you complete some of these tough backs because you learn some things from it. And until next time, make sure you're enjoying every day at work.